Perfect. Well, we are live, and Nick, I really appreciate you jumping on. I feel like this one's been a long time coming, and I certainly expected it to happen at some point. But with the book and everything else, and all of the craziness in cybersecurity these days, really excited to have you on the podcast, and excited to learn a little bit more about you. And so, would love for you to just do a brief intro for the audience to start, and just tell people who you are and how you got to where you are and everything in between. And yeah, looking forward to this one with you.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad to have it. I was feeling the same thing. I was like, can't believe we haven't done one together yet.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, obviously I'm Nick DeMeo. So I'm currently the Chief Information Officer at Vista Clinical Laboratory. We're a medical lab, so we do a lot of blood work testing, urine testing for nursing homes, and really any patient who needs some lab work. We're the go-to spot based here in Florida. So it's been a crazy journey. It started out as I was a kid of like pranking kids in computer class with setting the home screen on Netscape Navigator to an inappropriate site. You know, I think
Whoops.
I think a lot of kids, we started figuring out how to. Remember, they used to use like cookie filters to restrict your web browsing in school, and
Yeah.
figuring out how to disable those, and then yeah, just started having some mischief.
Yeah.
And it kind of just grew over the course of as I got older to like, oh, you could do so much stuff on computers.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and then yeah, one day I just was like, why am I not doing this for a living? Why am I still doing construction and such? So I went back to school and jumped into it. I've been full steam ahead since. So it's been an awesome and fun journey.
Yeah. That's super cool. What's your favorite part about what you do? Because you have a very, like, I guess, a wide breadth of different things that you do for Vista, but I know you're well involved with just like cybersecurity as a whole. What do you love most, and what kind of gets you out of bed each day when it comes to the cybersecurity and technology world?
I think it's because it's like being a CIO. It's I can kind of address problems without permission to so to speak.
Yeah,
So there's really like nothing's off the table.
yeah,
And so when it's like coming up with a unique challenge, it's like a playground.
yeah,
I get to kind of just play each path out until something is like, oh, this is definitely what we should be doing. And I think it's just being able to see from a policy perspective to implementation to like enforcement. I get to see the full cycle, and then I'm involved with that as well. It's pretty fulfilling rather than when you're just a technician. You only get to see like one angle or one perspective of your job. And I think I enjoy getting to see like the result of it too, like from the employee side, actually seeing how
totally.
it worked and how it impacted positively in the environment. Um, I think is what I love the most. It's everything's kind of unique. There's a lot of homegrown things too, which is really
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
So it's challenging.
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, and I know that I guess, your expertise goes really deep in this space, and that, of course, led to writing your book. Um, and so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about cyber defense and a little bit about what the book is about, some of the, um, I guess, the messages that you wanted to convey, as well as the why you wrote the book, kind of the passion behind it too.
Sure. Yeah. So cyber defense subtitles: "The Art of Forging a Sentinel." And I think I chase perfection with myself, even though it's not something attainable by a human being. It doesn't. I'm always like, I can still try.
Yeah, yeah,
God created us. We may be flawed right now, but we can get back to perfection. Let's try it.
yeah, yeah,
So I was kind of looking at it of my journey and how I got here. And one thing that always stuck out in my life that I always thought was funny was playing hockey. I am not athletically inclined at all. Like it takes me a while to get decent at a sport. And hockey was always something I loved to do. And one day I'm playing in a league, and I knew there was another league that played on Saturdays, and that was like the advanced league. If you got invited to that, you were good. These guys show up wearing like their Junior Olympic USA jerseys. They played on like in the Olympics. They're good. Uh, and I remember when I got invited to play with them, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, holy smokes, I made it!" And I played a game, and that was the first time I like realized what imposter syndrome was. It was like I'm not supposed to
Uh,
be here. Like I'm a
yeah.
bum.
Yeah.
Why am I playing with these guys?
Yeah.
And so after the game, we're all talking, and I asked them, I was like, "Why'd you even invite me? Like, you guys are way better." And they're like, "Yeah," but they're like, "You work so hard that we actually have to sweat to like play. Like while most people kind of
I
just
love
sit
it.
back and let us do our thing, you're all over us the whole game, and we actually have to work." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I kind of realized that's how I excelled so fastly at cybersecurity is because of my work ethic. And I
Yeah.
really like thought about it for like 6 months before I even started writing my book of like, what did I do to get here so fast? Like, how did I accomplish or what makes me stand out? And it's funny, it's almost like I looked at it as a sport, just like playing hockey. There's elements to the game that if you get those foundations right, you can be good at anything you want to do. And I broke it down with the four basic pillars, really. Your mentality, which your mind, that would be the foundation of what how you build from that. Then
Yeah.
you have to commit to it. And then after the commitment comes the work ethic. And
Yeah.
you got to be able to put in the time. And then after that to take yourself to the next level to be an artist is the strategic thinking of it. You got to be able to,
Gotcha.
take a bird's eye view and look at what you're doing and where you want to go, not just for cyber defense, but also your career as well. And I put that all together in a book. And then I finished it with like going into the future, how you can merge yourself with AI and be even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And really, the artist is like, you want somebody to look at your work and go, oh, wow. And just you want them to be awed, like as if they were at the museum looking at a Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Uh, and really, that's what it is. It's just it just shows you took a lot of pride in yourself to take yourself from just being an analyst to being an artist in cybersecurity. So it's not so much a playbook as much as is a self challenge. Like you're challenging yourself to be how good can you be?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
And one of the things you mentioned too is that like the greatest vulnerability in any network isn't the software, but it's the defender's mindset. Is that the
right.
kind of thing you're talking about? Is just like, I guess you might have that imposter syndrome, but if you work hard enough, if you follow those four pillars, is that sort of the piece that mentions how those four pillars play into the defender's mindset, or is that kind of discussing something else, I guess?
No, that's exactly what it is. And again, that kind of was like my
Yeah.
analogy I used for hockey is like, yes,
Yeah.
there's going to be better players and security. Yes, there's very intelligent, really good hackers out there. And you
Yeah.
might think like, "Oh, how can I stop these? I don't know how to program. I'm not like a hacker whiz. How can I stop these guys or girls?" And really
Yeah.
having those four pillars is like it's a proven system that as long as you're confident and you stay with it, you'll be able to do enough to either deter them or stop it. And it's like
Yeah.
not to count yourself out before the battle even starts, don't count yourself out.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you see psychology play into cybersecurity battles as a whole? I guess
A
what kind of things
lot.
are you seeing?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. And if you think about the number one most effective attack is social engineering, and really that's an attack on a human's mind.
Yeah,
Um, from a psychological perspective, you're manipulating somebody into doing something they know they shouldn't do, but
yeah,
because you're able to craft, whether it's your personality, your charm, or
yeah,
maybe you're very stern with them and that triggered something. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's a completely psychological warfare when it comes to social engineering. And I don't
yeah,
think we talk about it enough. We
yeah,
focus a lot on tools and we don't focus enough on the human mind and how to prepare
yeah,
yourself with the failures, the wins, and also the unknowns.
yeah. That's an interesting way to look at it, is just like the psychological piece, because of course, at the core of every attack is what you're saying. It's someone trying to manipulate you to do something to advantage them. Um,
Mhm.
and so it's just a strange thing to think about. and I guess human intuition, of course, is uh, generally you've got like that, like the hair will stand up on the back of your neck when you know something's wrong. And so I
Right.
guess in your opinion, like, why do you believe that human intuition in particular is still irreplaceable when it comes to all of the AI tools that can kind of like check and see some of the weird stuff and the anomalies um, in some of these attacks?
Yeah, it's super interesting, and I do talk about it in my book, and that was probably my favorite topic I researched was what gives a human a gut feeling. You
Yeah,
know, like what phenomenon? How can you explain it? And while there's not really like a written in stone explanation, there is kind of somewhat of a possibility of what causes that. And it's really like what's called somatic markers, and it's like emotions, feelings, life experiences you've had that subliminally kind of found their way into your brain that did
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't even understand or realized it did that, and then all of a sudden, yeah, like you said, your hair gets up on your neck or you get that weird feeling in your stomach, and you don't know why you shouldn't do it, but something in your body's like, "Don't do it."
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, how could a machine ever replace that? You know, how could you mimic that at
yeah,
all?
yeah.
You know, without having like an actual human brain plugged into the machine.
Yeah, yeah. It's so strange. It's like it's really weird. You know, you can tell that you shouldn't do something. You tell that something's off, and your body will know before your brain knows. And that's obviously we see that just in daily life, but trusting that gut and that intuition when it comes to a cybersecurity standpoint is um, a concept that I feel like is slightly foreign to people. And I think that's why
Yeah.
people undervalue cybersecurity training because when
Mhm.
I see cybersecurity training, like awareness training and whatnot, I feel like it trains your brain to think this is okay to pause. It's okay to think about this and pause. And I know this is wrong. Um, and so I guess what ways do you think people could listen to their gut more when they see weird stuff like that come through
Yeah.
and not to just push through with it?
Yeah, it's kinda like, as you said, to pause, like, you start feeling something, you should start questioning yourself, "Why am I feeling like this? Why did reading this
Yeah,
email just make me, like, get shivers?" Or, "What about
yeah,
this is making my body go, 'Oh my gosh, stop, delete it.'" Um,
yeah,
and I think that's what it is really just taking the time to go, "Okay, I just read this," or something's happening, and I feel super cold right now, like,
yeah.
something's not right about this situation. And it's really just stopping and start working through your thought process of going, okay, I'm feeling something. What did I just notice? What can I change? You know, what should I do? What did our policy say we should do? You know, do you need to go back and look at like a security newsletter or something? You know, do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Should you just go reach out to your security team to be safe? Um, I think that's the most important. Is I think a lot of people because they don't have the confidence in using a computer that they question themselves all the time,
yeah,
and I think they're also get like they're gonna get shamed if
yeah,
you know, they're gonna be called stupid or something, and I think a lot of that, again, psychologically plays a role on them not doing what they should have done, because they're
yeah,
worried about whatever it may be, uh, and really just, like, that doesn't matter. It's
yeah.
okay to, like, "Oh, well, that was kind of a silly thing to submit to us." But that's okay. Keep doing it because we'd rather
Yes,
have you be silly than to not say anything and then it turns out to
have
be
an
a big
issue.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
I say that
It's a
all the
fair point.
time, like, yeah, I say that all the time, even to our employees, like, yeah, I might be like, "Oh, what an idiot," but I'm not gonna tell you, like, "Don't stop submitting those." I'll never say that
Yeah,
because one day it will be a legitimate threat.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's the one place where you could never be the boy who cried wolf. Like
Right.
you can never be too safe when it comes to any of that stuff. And even I check. I mean, when stuff comes through my desk, and I work in this world, right? Like when weird things come through my desk, I always check with an expert if I'm unclear. Like, and I'm a professional in this space. I'm not a
Yeah.
cybersecurity professional in particular, but I work in technology, and I feel like I can't be too safe. There's no too safe for me. Um, and sometimes it's just a fascinating interest of how things work,
Mhm.
and how these attacks work. And so I'm generally interested in why an attack like that would take place and what the angle would be. Because again, sometimes you have that hair stand up on the back of your neck, but you don't know why. And so
Mhm.
experts in the space can talk through a little bit of the details, um, as to what the overall goal might be, with an attack from an adversary like that. And that is one of the questions I've got for you. You are one of the more intelligent people in this space, of course. So where do you go when you're curious about information, um, or if you're interested in learning more, or is there like someone that you look up to in the cybersecurity space? I guess what's kind of your training routine, if you will? Who's your personal trainer when it comes to cybersecurity?
AI, man. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't use like one source per se. I try to
yeah,
use a bunch of different ones. I
yeah.
use Udemy a lot. Udemy,
Okay, yeah,
Coursera, and I try to stick to university programs, like Stanford University or something. I try to
yeah,
stay
yeah.
along those lines just because their names on it. So
Yes,
there's got to be some due diligence in the information.
yeah.
Um, and then for leadership, I like Dr. Eric Cole. He
Okay.
does like a CISO podcast. He's got a huge long record. But when it comes to like strategy and executive leadership, that's I go to like his videos and watch him. He has like really good points. Just the way he like approaches things from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really like it, and it helps me grow too. Because the downside to being so hands on sometimes is a little bit fall myself into the analyst role, and I
yeah,
got to catch
yeah.
myself like, okay, back up, like you're not a security analyst anymore. You know, you got
Bigger
to
picture.
back up. Let's get back to the business, and look
Yeah.
at it that way. Um, so yeah, those are some key things, and then peer to peer. I'm involved with like InfraGard Orlando, Central Florida Cybersecurity Coalition. So I
Awesome.
do go to those like monthly meetings,
Yeah.
and just chat, especially if there's somebody that's in a space I'm interested in, or I just know they've got like 25 years, they know what's going on. I'll go talk to them about things as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Always something to learn. That's
Yeah,
really
for
cool.
sure.
Yeah.
I think like when it comes to education, I think that's what drove this book too, was like challenging the traditional way we train and teach,
Yes. Yeah.
because everything's so tool centric
Yeah.
that we don't prepare students or really any professional to really deal with cyber defense. Um, and that's really what drove the book too. Is like working on a security team. It's like looking at other individuals and they log in and they hit scan. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
dude, that's not cyber defense, you know?
It's just a tool operator. Yeah.
Yeah, tool like, my daughter can
Yeah.
do that. There's gotta be some,
Yeah.
like, cleverness, and there's like, you gotta be able to do more when when those alerts happen, you know?
Yes.
And that's really what drove this book too, and, it was funny, I was in DC at, MSSP Alert. I was giving a presentation on strategic thinking for cyber defense, and I didn't have this written down, and it kinda just came to me on stage. I was like, "Really look at yourself, from cyber defense. Instead of using your tools to, like, define a strategy, your strategy should define what tools you use." And I
Mm.
was like, "To help you figure out what I'm talking about, if you were dropped off in the middle of the woods with nothing but a knife and a bottle of water, and you were told to survive, what would you do?"
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you'd have to go back to your very primal foundation basics of living outdoors. Okay, I need shelter, I need food, I need to go get some
Yes.
water. Like,
Yeah.
I need to do all these foundational survival things to live. Cybersecurity is the same thing. It's like, if you took all of your tools away, what would you do? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you have to get back to the basics, with networking, endpoint security. Like, what is endpoint security without deploying CrowdStrike? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Basic things of like hardening the system,
Yeah.
checking the
Yeah.
inventory, removing things, all these things that you don't necessarily need a tool for. And it's like they're so basic and it's so low hanging fruit that it's getting discounted. But it's like keeping your computer updated is the most essential form of security, and it's the most
Yes.
crucial. Like I have yet to seen something come from CISA.gov or something that says, "Don't worry about updating your computers. Go deploy this tool." You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
always update your system. That's always like
Yeah.
the number one mitigation step, and everything is update,
Yeah.
update and
Vulnerability
patch.
found, please update.
Yeah,
New update
patch.
available. Yeah. Patch it. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's really what spawned my whole thing was like, okay, we're losing kids. We're losing it right now.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
we gotta get back to our basics, get back to the primal instincts, and like reinforce those, and then start building on top of that.
Yeah. That's super cool. Um, I mean, kind of along those lines of like reinforcing and everything like that. I feel like I've got a relatively robust vocabulary, but when it comes to things like forging a sentinel, right, that's very book-like vocabulary. So I'd love for you to
Right.
tell me a little bit more about what that means as well. Walk through, I guess, like what it means to like forge a sentinel, if you will, as you say in kind of the subtitle. So
Correct. Yeah. So that would be so we talked about the four pillars, right? Getting those
yeah,
foundations.
yeah,
The Sentinel comes in is a Sentinel is somebody who can essentially adapt to modern technology and
yeah,
use it to hit their benefit or augment their ability. Obviously, AI is exploding.
yeah,
Um, it's not going anywhere. It might change or evolve. That'll be the bubble that pops.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
not going anywhere. And I think in cyber defense, there's things that the human just can't do. Like we can't
yeah,
process a million lines of code in 2 seconds, but
sure,
AI can.
yeah,
Uh, we can't look at 30,000 lines of logs in a couple of
yeah,
seconds and be able to
yeah,
correlate all these data points. AI can in seconds. And it's like, why would you, as a human, even still attempt to do that?
yeah,
You'll like sit there for hours and hours. It would just be a complete waste. And then you're trying
yep,
to use a notepad to keep track of like IP addresses and things like that when
yeah,
you can just run it through AI and it's like, here you go.
yeah,
Here's what was compromised, blah, 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 blah. What AI cannot do though is what humans always have the advantage is we talked about intuition, right? The gut feelings. The
yes,
second part
yeah,
of that is human creativity. AI doesn't have our creative imagination yet.
yeah,
Um, and so if you use AI a lot, you'll get stuck. If you're trying to do something unique or complex,
yeah,
it gets to a
yeah,
point where it just starts repeating itself. It can't move on.
yep, yeah,
And that's where the machine fails and the human exceeds, is because if you took all of our stuff away, we actually can do more with less because we're forced to think outside the box
yeah,
and we start attacking the problem differently. And it just, our brain just starts cycling through weird paths that, like, oh, I think I just figured it out,
yeah, yeah,
And that's like, you can't mimic that. So that's where, like, and I use humans as being the compass and AI is the machine. It's like we're guiding it what to do and we're telling it what to do. It may do all the like grunt work for us, but at the end of the day, you still need a very intelligent human being to be able to strategize cyber defense, ask the right questions to AI. Sure, it's got like 10 million points of data, but it doesn't necessarily know what to do with it.
yeah,
You still have
yeah,
to tell it what to do. Like, and maybe it says, oh, XYZ and this IP address from this country. And maybe, but your mind, you're like, oh, that's not good.
yeah,
Nobody should be logging in from Idaho.
yeah,
um, and really that's what it is. It's really like uh, drilling down, okay, this is what you're really good at as a human being. This is what you're not good at. And then it's like, how can I use AI or machine or whatever it is, or maybe it's just a Python scripts. Okay. Because let's
yeah,
be real,
yeah,
there's some AI companies out there and it's really just Python scripts running one after another. Uh,
nothing special. Yeah,
nothing special. But it's like, how can I, offload this workload so that I can focus on, the human portion of it, like their real threat analysis. I don't need to be bothered with going through Excel after Excel after Excel of log information.
yep,
You're just never going to have an effective defense that way.
Yeah.
So forging the Sentinel that's what it is. You're merging yourself with like essentially a machine. In chess, they call it the centaur. Um,
Yeah.
and you're like half human, half machine. But it's understanding though the clear line of ethics and morality between that relationship. It's like you have to understand you are the human, you are the one who has the morals and ethics. You also have the guidance, the intuition. The machine does not.
Yeah.
It's not good or evil. It's just a machine. It's going to do the output is what you put into it. And that's really how you utilize, modern technology to attack the threats at the
Yeah.
most efficient level.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Well, I guess in the spirit of time here and sort of starting to close things down, thinking practically, what would be like the first mindset shift that someone could make, maybe to become a better sentinel, like even tomorrow? What are some practical steps that people could make uh, going into, I guess, the new year, maybe, if they want to make a New Year's cyber resolution?
I think I look how I started my first security job. There was no security.
Yeah,
There's not a single tool in place, and
yeah,
it's like that's a lot of what drove this as well. Is like how do you defend a network with nothing? It's
yeah,
like, you find out, well, Microsoft's got some built-in tools, there's group policy, there's things. So for practical steps is one is like really fully understand the goal. And the goal is protecting people. And then you
yeah,
build out from that. So I think a lot of security individuals, they get caught up with top name vendors and they feel like that's what you need to protect your network. And I would like to
yeah,
challenge people for your next step going to 2026 is forget about those names and just envision how can I protect things without those tools?
yeah,
Like, do we have all best practice group policies set up on endpoints? Is that even in place? Or are we just going, oh, well, we got CrowdStrike deployed, so we don't got to do it. Um, that would be a first step is really just understand the basics and said, hey, have I mastered this yet? Have we
yeah,
mastered
yeah,
the basics of cyber defense yet? If not, let's focus on 2026 of mastering the foundation. And then at the end of the year, let's go, okay, maybe we need some tools, maybe we don't.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but I think that's something is really understanding the landscape of the environment that you work in. Like
yeah,
you should know it like the back of your hand. If you should know how to hack it too. You
yeah.
should be like, oh, if I'm a hacker and this company didn't pay me tomorrow, this is how I
This
would
is
take it
where it
down,
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
you
Yeah. Think
yeah,
about it from kind
definitely
of the
knowing
other
that.
point of view. I totally get that. Yeah, and using that to say, all right, cool, I understand where the vulnerabilities are, and this is kind of the next step of how I want to patch this creatively, and not necessarily relying on all the tools. So,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Because I mean, tools,
that
they
makes
got
sense.
AI or machine learning, but it doesn't know your
Yeah,
environment like you do. It
yeah,
doesn't know the
yeah,
people.
yes,
That's
yeah,
the weakness. That's always the weakest link is the people. Tools aren't going to know who your people are. They're not
yeah,
going to know that someone's leaving the door open at 2 o'clock every single day to go vape.
yeah.
you know.
That's fair. That's fair. Uh, well, cool. Well, yeah. Well, I guess as just a final question, what's one thing that you could say that would be notably helpful to anybody looking to maybe potentially getting into um, a cybersecurity career? And then finally, where can people find you? Where can they find your book? And if they want to get in touch and ask any other questions.
Yeah. One thing I will say is learn networking. Networking is so important. Computer networking, I should say.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
networking is also very important.
Yes.
But yeah, just knowing how everything's supposed to talk to each other. There's so many problems that can be solved with just basic networking. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of security issues that turn out just to be a DNS issue,
Yeah.
something benign. So yeah, that's something I would always recommend is if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, really know the computer networking side of things. So
Yeah.
focus on that.
Yeah.
And then I'm on LinkedIn. Obviously,
You're
it's
live
like
on
this.
LinkedIn right now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cybersecurity playhouse now is LinkedIn. Also,
Yeah.
I also have DeMeoSecurity.com. That's where also you can see my book. My book's also on Amazon. But yeah, you can reach out either through my website, LinkedIn, and yeah, I'm always happy to chat. If you got questions, advice, my inbox is always filled with those questions. I don't mind at all.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, that's great, Nick. I appreciate you, man. This has been super interesting. I think one of the more unique perspectives on cybersecurity uh, that I've ever heard, and so it's been really fun talking through this, and even being able to talk with you in general is fun, but diving in deep into stuff like this is really really exciting. So yeah, I really
We
appreciate
got to
you
do it again
joining today.
sometime for sure.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So awesome. Well, thanks, man.
Thank you.